What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be going over my UFC 312 predictions and breakdowns. Honestly, man, this card's getting too much hate. I know, like, don't get me wrong, on paper, this card looks absolutely abysmal. It looks terrible. There's no name value, almost zero hype to this card at all. But, dude, looking at some of these, like, prelim fights, there's some very entertaining fighters being matched up here that I think are going to put on some absolute banger fights. I think there's going to be a lot of finishes, and honestly, I think this card's going to deliver entertainment-wise. Obviously, there's no hype to this card, so that obviously brings it down a bit, but man, there's going to be some entertaining scraps on here, I can tell you that. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get on to the first fight. Hyung Sung Park versus Nyamjagal Tumendembril. I'm going to go with Hyung Sung Park via a second round submission. I just think Nyamjagal gets taken down too easily, and Hyung Sung Park will be able to get him down and kind of just bully him on the ground and be way stronger and more physical and probably find a submission. And even on the feet, Nyamjagal is going to have a big reach advantage, which does kind of scare me because he can catch you at the end of these long punches and hurt you and drop you. And we have seen Hyung Sung Park, these fucking Asian names. We have seen Hyung Sung Park get dropped before, but he has really nice inside boxing and he's got some devastating body shots. I think he can get in on the inside, do good there, and eventually get him down and probably find the submission. So yeah, Hyung Sung Park, second round submission. Quillen Salkield versus Anshel Jubli. I'm going to go with Quillen Salkield to get this one done via third round TKO. I'm not picking Anshel Jubli to win a fight in 2025. His cardio is bad, and he just does not do well under pressure. Quillen Salkield is a high-paced, high-pressure fighter. He can grapple, he can strike. He's going to have a 6-inch reach advantage in this fight, and I don't know, I just think he's going to outpace Anshel Jubli, gas him out, and eventually get the finish. Anshel Jubli, I don't know if he's UFC caliber. He lost to Mike Breeden. He is Mike Breeden's only win in the UFC. So I don't know. I I just don't see any potential in Anshel Jubli. So I'm going Quillen Salkield via third round TKO. Let's move on to the next fight. Kevin Jousset versus Jonathan McAuliffe. I'm going to go with Kevin Jousset to win a 29-28 unanimous decision. I just don't think Jonathan McAuliffe has shown me enough to make me want to pick him here. And Kevin Jousset has actually put on some pretty good performances. He looked good against Song Kanong, looked good against Kiefer Crosby. And say what you want, he lost to Brian Battle in his last fight, but he won the first round against Brian Battle, outlanded him. He landed at a much higher percentage, was just looking like the more accurate fighter. And then, Battle just does what he does, goes in and finishes him. But yeah, Kevin Jousset, I just think he's the more proven fighter. He has more experience at the highest level, and I just don't think Jonathan McAuliffe is going to be ready. So yeah, I'm going Kevin Jousset by decision. Let's move on to the next fight. Cody Steele versus Rong Zhu. I'm going to go with Cody Steele via a second round TKO. This fight should actually be pretty interesting. Rong Zhu is very durable. Cody Steele, very explosive, very powerful. And I don't know, man. Rong Zhu, he's durable. Yeah, he's got a good chin, but every chin has its day. And I think Rong Zhu's time has come. I think Cody Steele's going to be able to get in, land something huge, put Rong Zhu down, and then finish him with ground and pound. And, even if he wants to go on the ground and chase a submission, Cody Steele has a really high level grappling background, too, that he can go to. So, yeah, this should be a pretty interesting fight, but I am going to go with Cody Steele via a second round TKO. Let's move on to the next fight. Colby Thickness versus Alexander Topuria. We got Volk's number one training partner versus the brother of Ilya Topuria. This fight should be pretty interesting. Both Ilya and Volk are going to be cornering, so maybe we get like a cool face-off or stare down or something. But yeah, man, this fight should be interesting. And I think Colby Thickness is going to get it done by decision, man. Alexander Topuria, he just seems like a can crusher beyond belief. Already has a loss by TKO, and I don't know, man. He just doesn't seem super impressive to me. Unlike his brother Ilya, he just doesn't really seem at that level. And Colby Thickness, he looks good, but like again, I feel like they're both just can crushers. I'm not gonna lie. Both making their UFC debut, and I don't know. I just think Colby Thickness is gonna get the better of them. So yeah, let's move on to the next fight. Wang Kong versus Bruna Brazil. The hardcores know about this one. This is going to be a pretty interesting matchup. And honestly, Wang Kong is like a huge favorite. I think she's like a 4-1 favorite or something. And I completely disagree with those odds. I think Bruna Brazil is going to get this one done via a second round submission. She just seems like a more complete fighter. She can strike and grapple. Wang Kong, like, yeah, she's got good striking. She seems good on the feet, but her grappling, man, like, her grappling just seems so underdeveloped. Like, in her last fight, she got completely fraud checked, submitted in the second round. And I think Bruna Brazil can expose that even more. Bruna Brazil is a pretty good grappler, and yeah, she's from the Fighting Nerds. She got that plot armor, and yeah, I think Bruna Brazil is going to get this one done. Wang Kong, I could see a world where Wang Kong just like defends the takedowns and like gets like a flash KO because Wang Kong does seem to have power. She's pretty dangerous on the feet, but I think Bruna Brazil will be able to survive and eventually get her down and get the submission because Wang Kong's ground game just seems so underdeveloped. So yeah, I'm going to go with the more well-rounded, more proven fighter, Bruna Brazil. Let's move on to the next fight. Tom Nolan versus Vyacheslav Borshev. This and the Wang Kong Bruno Brazil fight are the two fights on the prelims that I am most excited for. Two banger matchups, two absolute fun scraps, and I think the styles are going to clash really well, especially in this one here. And I'm going to go with Vyacheslav Borshev to get a first round TKO. Tom Nolan, man, like he's tall, he's chinny, and he leaves himself open too much. I could see him getting too aggressive, going in, trying to land something on Borshev, and Borshev just counters with like an overhand or a right hand and puts Tom Nolan down and gets the TKO finish. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Vyacheslav Borshev. This is going to be explosive, though, man. These guys are going to come out swinging in the first round. Borshev, like, this guy has a lot of power. Like, I know a lot of people know this guy because he got, like, beat up by Chase Hooper. But, like, man, the hardcores will tell you, do not take Borshev lightly, especially if you're striking with him. The guy KO'd Mahashate. Like, I know Mahashate is not this fucking elite, like, god tier fighter or nothing, but, like, he's the only guy in the UFC that has KO'd Mahashate. Nobody else has been able to KO Mahashate. I know Nicholas Mota dropped him a few times, but Nicholas Mota also slept Tom Nolan, and he couldn't even finish Mahashate. And Vyacheslav Borshev just went out there and dropped Mahashate like 3 times and got like a quick, easy finish. Not a quick, easy finish, but definitely an easy finish. He was piecing up Mahashate. And that's impressive to me, man, especially against a chinny guy like Tom Nolan. I think if Borshev lands something on that chin, I think Borshev could put Tom Nolan's lights out completely. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Vyacheslav Borshev to get this one done via a first-round TKO. This is going to be a banger, though. Expect fireworks right out the gate with this one. Jack Jenkins versus Gabriel Santos. I'm going to go with Jack Jenkins via a 29-28 unanimous decision. I just don't think Gabriel Santos is very impressive. He's 1-2 in the UFC. I know the two people he's lost to are like Lerone Murphy and David Onama, which are two pretty solid fighters, but like, I don't know, Jack Jenkins, he just looks more impressive to me. He's 4-1 in the UFC. His only loss is to Chepe Mariscal, who is like a promising prospect. He's undefeated in the UFC. Chepe Mariscal is very good, so not taking that away from Jack Jenkins. And yeah, I just think Jack Jenkins is going to get this one done. Mate, Jack fucking Jenkins. That's a fucking terrible Australian accent. I'm not Australian, so don't come at me for that. But yeah, Jack Jenkins, he's going to get this one done. Let's move on to the next fight. Jake Matthews versus Francisco Prado. These two are about to go in there and have a mid-off at the highest level. This is going to be a very high-level mid-off, and I think Jake Matthews is going to win the mid-off. I think he's going to win it via a 29-28 unanimous decision. I don't think Francisco Prado should be at welterweight. I think he should stay at lightweight. He's going to be undersized here. He's going to be smaller than Jake Matthews, and I think Jake Matthews can just size mog him because he's a real welterweight, and Francisco Prado is not a real welterweight. He lost to friggin' Daniel Zellhuber. Beat Ottoman Azaitar by KO, but like who doesn't KO Ottoman Azaitar? I could fucking chin that guy. And then he lost to Jamie Malarkey in his debut. So I don't know. Francisco Prado, he looks kind of mid. Jake Matthews is also pretty mid, but I think he's slightly less mid, and I think he's gonna win the mid off here. So yeah, Jake Matthews by decision. Let's move on to the next fight. Jimmy Crute versus Rodolfo Bellato. Neither of these guys blessed by the gene pool, as you can tell. But I'm going to go with the slightly more chopped guy, Rodolfo Bellato, to get a first-round TKO. I just think, he has dangerous power. I'll give him that. And I don't think Jimmy Crute has it in him to take those punches. He hasn't won a fight since 2020. It's 2025. It's been 5 years since Jimmy Crute has won a fight in the UFC. And his last 4 fights, he got submitted by Alonzo Menafield, had a draw with Alonzo Menafield, got KO'd by Jamal Hill, and got KO'd by Anthony Smith. So, not a great look, especially the Anthony Smith one. Why the fuck are you getting KO'd by Anthony Smith? That is a one-way ticket to the GFL, getting KO'd by Anthony Smith. But yeah, I think Rodolfo Bellato is going to get him out in the first round. I just don't think Jimmy Crute has that mentality for fighting. And I think after this, it's definitely off to the GFL. And yeah, let's move on to the next fight. Wow, there's a lot of prelims on this card. I wonder when we're going to get to the main card, because, man, a lot of prelims to get through. No, this is actually the featured fight of the main card for UFC 312. No, I'm not joking. Your eyes do not deceive you. You are not in, like, some sort of hallucination. This is actually the third last fight of the entire card. Yeah. Justin Tafa versus Talison Teixeira. I know what I said at the beginning of the video, and my point still stands for the prelims. The prelims are overhated. The prelims are actually good. The main card, no, this is unacceptable. This is one of the worst main cards I have ever seen. Ever. Justin Tafa versus Talison Teixeira, featured fight. Holy fuck. That being said, Talison Teixeira, first round KO. I'm not picking Justin Tafa to win a fight in 2025. I'm just not. So yeah, I'm going to go with Talison Teixeira. I'm not even going to break this one down. Let's just move on to the co-main event. Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez. I am going to be going with Tatiana Suarez via a 48-47 unanimous decision. This is going to be one of those occurrences where I'm going to be rooting against my pick. Usually I root for all the fighters that I pick because I don't know, the goal is to get every single pick right on the card, but this is going to be one of those times where I root against my pick. I do want Zhang Weili to win. I will be rooting for her, but I don't know. I think Tatiana, her takedowns, her control, she's too dominant. She's like she's just too much on the ground for anybody. And I think even Zhang Weili is not going to have an answer for the ground game. Maybe she can make something work on the feet. You know, maybe she surprises us and gets some takedowns of her own. But nah, I just think Tatiana is going to be too much. We've seen Zhang Weili get taken down before. She got taken down by Yan Xiaonan 3 times. She got taken down by Carla Esparza. Rose Namajunas took her down. I don't know. I just think Tatiana Suarez is going to be able to get the takedowns, going to be able to get the control, and win a control-based decision. Probably get some ground and pound going in there too. And I don't know. I do think Zhang Weili will be better on the feet, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Tatiana, she's going to be too much. Hopefully Zhang Weili wins. I can definitely see a word. I could definitely see a world where Zhang Weili wins, but I don't know. I'm going to pick Tatiana. I just think she's going to win. No, maybe I don't know. I really want Zhang Weili to win, but yeah, I don't know. I'm going Tatiana Suarez. Yeah, let's move on to the main event next. Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland 2, the rematch. I am going to be going with Dricus du Plessis to get a third round TKO. I just think he's improved more as a fighter. I'm not really seeing these improvements from Sean Strickland. And Dricus du Plessis, he looked great in the Izzy fight, showed a lot of improvements there. And Sean Strickland, he comes with the same game plan every time. He's not good at making adjustments. I haven't seen any improvements coming from his game. And I just think Dricus is going to make it a lot more. He's going to make it a lot more one-sided this time, and I think he's going to beat Sean Strickland a lot more convincingly, and I think he gets the finish. Yeah, Strickland, like his style is effective, yes. His style is very effective. He's amazing on the defensive end. Very difficult guy to hit clean, but man, he just doesn't know how to make adjustments. And in a rematch, you know, he's going to come with the same game plan. I reckon Dricus du Plessis is just going to figure him out this time, and I think he's just going to know exactly what to do. He's good at game planning, and I just think he's going to outwork Sean Strickland and get the TKO in round 3. I think he's going to get the takedowns easier. And yeah, I don't know, man. Just basically, moral of this fight is Dricus du Plessis improved more since their first fight. Sean Strickland doesn't know how to make adjustments. He's going to come in with the same game plan, and that's what's going to cost him the fight. Do I think he can win this if he plays it smart and knows how to make adjustments? Yes. Do I think he's going to make those adjustments? No, Sean Strickland is not a good adjustment maker. I think if he rematches Izzy, AZ might be able to beat him, honestly, because Sean Strickland just doesn't know how to make adjustments. He seems like one of those fighters where if you rematch them, he's just going to come with the same game plan, and you can figure him out a lot easier. So, yeah, I'm going to go Dricus du Plessis via a third round TKO. But yeah, that is going to do it for my UFC 312 predictions and breakdowns video. I know it was a bit of a shorter one, so my apologies for that. But hopefully you guys did enjoy it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.